Hey, oh, hey, what's good, chat? Okay, I was being a little slow on the update there. What's good? Hi, we're back. More Ace Attorney, number 2, and I still feel terrible. I'm sure it doesn't help that I did not get a lot of sleep last night, but that's really neither here or there. All that really matters is we're here. We're starting the first trial. So this is a long one. This is a long case in general. So if this goes the way that they have been going for the past couple of streams as far as time frames and things, we should be looking at 2 more. To my knowledge. About 2 more. Possibly 3. One of them takes a really long time, but should be about 2 more streams. And then we'll be done. We'll beaten Ace Attorney 2. Meaning, we get to move on to Ace 3. Though, I might take a, very simple, very short break. If that makes sense. Oh, jeez. There is apparently a lot of stuff going on regarding Black Widow, which is interesting. I see contract breach stuff with Scarlett Johansson, so she sued Disney. I mean, power to you, Scarlett Johansson, but it's Disney. They don't care. They never cared. But regardless, I still don't know what we're doing after Ace 3 though. Because what I mean by taking a short break, I mean we'd probably just play Strive for like a week. And like that would be it, really. Play Strive a little bit, have some fun with it. Scrub quotes, gotta love it. People don't understand how zoners work or how to deal with it. God, it's always so funny. Regardless, I still don't know. I don't know. I was looking, I mean, I've been watching Convergent mod, for those of you that know what that is. It's a Dark Souls 3 mod that does a complete overhaul of the magic system. It changes up enemy locations, bonfire locations, new bosses, updates bosses, all kinds of stuff. A whole bunch of balance tweaks. It's pretty crazy. A lot of new mechanics. That looks insane. Super fun. But also, really hard. Not that I'm against it, right? I mean, we played through Bloodborne. I've beaten Dark Souls 1 and 3 multiple times, so... it wouldn't necessarily be anything, like, too crazy to do. But I don't think I will do that. Not anytime soon. But it's something I've looked at. But I don't know what I'm gonna do next. We could start the foray into Metroid, but I'm also thinking of doing Mega Man X. Get through the 8-part series of that. See if you can get that rocking. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do after Ace 3. I really don't. The decision for a later date, and by later date I mean like, I don't know, probably a month. That's about how long it's gonna take to get through Ace Attorney 3. But regardless, let's not worry about that right now. Right now, let's worry about getting our client, whose name I have completely forgotten, Mr. something or other? I don't remember. Oh god. This Mr. On guard. That's for on guard. What was his name? Something on guard. I don't remember, but it's on guard. Because... Oh god, I'm so bad with names. Juan Horida has been killed. There we go. And, Andrea something? Ashley's? Something? I don't know. It's like his manager and stuff. And there's a scandal, apparently. And two dudes are rivals. Still. That's about it. Let's just get into it. I genuinely don't know what we're gonna do after he's Attorney 3. And like there's plenty on the list, is the thing. Like, there's a bunch on the list, ready to go. It's just a matter of, do I want to do that? Do I want to maybe like do maybe more of like a, I don't want to say like a series thing, but maybe more of like a like a Factorio or something like that, where it's like I can stop whenever I want, and start up like a more actual consistent game. But you know, just like kind of have that in like the background as like a thing that I can come back to. I don't know. But let's begin. March 22nd, 9:47 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Adrian did it. That's what it looks like. Dude, no way. That woman couldn't do anything like that. In court today, there will be a mountain of evidence that will implicate you. A mountain of evidence? I'm certain there's someone out there trying very hard to pin this whole thing on you. Please, Mr. Lawyer, dude, like I said yesterday, I'm refreshing like a spring breeze, alright? I can't let any sort of scandal ruin that. I understand. It's almost time? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Let's get a complete acquittal today. I know. But I can't focus on my situation right now. Or Pearl's either. No matter what, I have to focus on winning this case by the end of the day. Indeed. Well, let's get going. Oh. It's him. This is right. Good morning. This is it, Mr. Attorney, the day of the trial. Maya, she's unharmed, right? Well, when I checked on her earlier this morning, she seemed a bit, shall we say, tired. Don't worry, people don't die that easily. Besides, what you really should be concentrating on is winning today's trial. For my sake, as well as yours, you must win today's trial. Which is why I sent you a little present this morning. Present? What in the world would you want to give me? We'll figure it out once the trial starts. And even if you don't like my gift, I expect you to graciously accept it and win the day's contest, if you please. Wait! That for sent me a present. Mr. Lawyer dude, who's that? No one. It's nothing to do with you, so forget you heard anything. Dude, did your nose just get longer? Oh, shut up. But also... yes, it did. March 22nd, 10 a.m. District Court. It's always 10 a.m. Courtroom number 3. Like, what is it? What is it with Ace Attorney? It's always 10 a.m. with... like, Phoenix always gets that 10 a.m. slot. Court is now in session for the trial of Matt on guard. The prosecution and defense ready. The defense ready, Your Honor? I say, Mr. Wright, what happened to Miss Von Karma? I don't know, Your Honor. I think you mad at me. Your Honor, please be quiet, bailiff. What is in session? If you must tell me something, please keep it brief. Now then, what is it? Prosecutor Von Karma has... this morning, Miss Von Karma was shot by an unknown gunman. What? Shot? What? No! Somehow, I think this is the present that man was talking about. This present? Miss Von Karma is one of the top prosecutors in the country at the moment. If she were to disappear, it would be to your advantage. This? That's totally insane. Miss Von Karma, is she alright? I don't have that answer. She's alive and in stable condition. That's good. You're... I thought he'd show up. Oh, hi! What up? Your Honor? Due to the circumstances, Miss Franziska von Karma cannot appear in court today. I, Miles Edgeworth, will be taking her place. Prosecution is ready, naturally. Dang. It's just like old times. How you doing, Edgeworth? Miss von Karma was shot on her right shoulder and is currently undergoing surgery. Luckily, I looked this case over and am familiar with the details. The prosecution seeks to prove the guilt of Mr. Matt Ongard. The court challenges the prosecution? Right. Finally found the answer I was struggling for on my long journey this past year. By the time this case comes to an end, you too will know the answer. Now then, prosecution went to call's first witness. Please bring Detective Gumshoe to the witness stand. God, I can't believe Edgeworth is back and in full swing. Witness your name and occupation. My name's Dick Gumshoe, sir. I'm a detective down at the precinct. For now. For now? After this trial's over, I'm supposed to turn in my badge, sir. Detective Gumshoe? The prosecution has no need for a depressed witness. Lift your head up and face forward like a proud officer, Detective Dick Gumshoe. Yes, sir. Now, let's have your testimony. We want to explore the various facets of this case. We must start with that. Get ready, Phoenix. This is gonna be one very rough fight. Yeah. It'd have to be with Edgeworth as my opponent. That's what you've been struggling for. Interesting. Show me this answer you finally found, Edgeworth. Is it that you're in love with me? Fair facts of the case. This murder happened after the Hero of Heroes award ceremony, sir. The victim, one Karida, was found dead in his hotel room. After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered, sir. At first, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. However, we later found out that guitar case had nothing to do with the murder. I don't know if I believe that. After the award ceremony, the victim was alone in his room. Yes, sir. Both the victim and the defendant went alone to their room, sir. I see. That's alright. You may begin your cross-examination. Fair facts of the case. Would you please give us a brief timeline of what happened after the ceremony? Okay, pal. The ceremony started at 6 p.m. It ended around 8 p.m., and then there was a short break. A special post-ceremony show was supposed to start in the lobby 30 minutes later. And that's when the victim's body was found, correct? Which is to say the murder occurred during that 30-minute period break. He's continuing the testimony, Detective. Alright. Credit was found in his hotel room. The person who discovered the victim's body was Adrian Andrews, correct? Yeah. Who is this Adrian Andrews you're talking about? She's the defendant, Matt Ongard's manager. She's a really pretty lady, sir. I would agree. Oh, so she's a pretty lady. I wonder if she will grace us with her presence. When the post-ceremony show was about to start, she went to get Mr. Ongard. After visiting his room, she next went to the victim's room to get him for the show, sir. I see, and that's when she found the victim's body? Or when she killed him? Oh! The cause of death, wasn't that because Mr. Kareda was stabbed in the chest? Only a careless amateur would leave something so brainless as that, pal. Take a good hard look at the crime photo. Now, a real pros attention would be drawn here, to this bandana. Banana? His bandana, sir. That's the thing wrapped tightly around his neck, sir? Ah, yes, I see. his banana-scented bandana. Sure. Then what about the knife? It seems to have been stuck in the victim's chest on purpose after his death. Really? You have a crafty murderer on our hands here. Let's report after the court record. Strangled with a scarf, then stabbed with a knife. Plus with 815. It's interesting. And why did you think that? Because it was empty, pal. The Jammin' Ninja doesn't go anywhere without his bright red guitar. Yeah, we couldn't find that anywhere at the scene of the crime. Oh, then how about this theory? The fan really wanted the guitar and did the crime to get it. How's that? We thought of that too, but... What? The only fingerprints on the guitar case are the victims. The victims? Huh. I see. So much for my theory, then. Guitar case updated. There's Karida's fingerprints. Okay. What convinced you it had nothing to do with this case? The guitar wasn't at the Game On Hotel that night. Oh, then where was it? The perfect guitar was eventually found at the TV studio. The victim, Hon Karida, had apparently taken the case with him, sir. So you mean he forgot to put the guitar inside the case? Yes, sir. Even when he was on stage for the ceremony, he didn't have his guitar. So the guitar case was empty even before he got to the hotel? Yeah, that's right. So it really had nothing to do with this case after all. I believe that is enough. First, the victim was choked to death with his bandana. Then, after the victim was dead, the killer deliberately stabbed him with a knife. Brings me to my next point. Why then did the police arrest Matt on guard? Because there was reason enough to suspect him. Here it comes. The Edgeworth's back in full swing. Very well, Detective Gumshoe, please testify about this matter. Yes, sir. Oh god, I missed you, Edgeworth. Yeah, there's like a certain flair to Edgeworth, you know, like a certain confidence that you don't quite get with Von Karma. Like, she's still great, don't get me wrong, but there's just something about Von Karma. Maybe it's just her really adorable, cute face, but something about her that just doesn't quite have the same energy as Edgeworth, you know? Benegata and One Karida were huge rivals with each other. Each thought the other guy was in his way. That's not enough in my book. As for evidence, that's Jammin' Ninja's button. Oh my god. Yeah, I had a theory as to why I was yelling so much, but I guess maybe it's not the case. It was ripped off of the ninja's costume and was found in Mr. Ongod's Hakama. The defendant's fingerprints were also on the knife. The defendant bought the knife for the crime, which makes this a premeditated murder. I don't know if I believe that. So the defendant's fingerprints were found on the knife used in the stabbing. It was sort of oh, I'm sorry. It was sort of sticky on the handle, so the fingerprints came out pretty clearly, sir. Knife added to the court record. And there's his button. Oh, that was found on the defendant's clothes, was it? Is this button also covered in blood? Yes, and we know that the blood on it is the victim's blood, sir. What? Jammin' Ninja's button from his costume is covered in Karida's blood. All of this points very clearly to the defendant, doesn't it? Yes, it most certainly does, Your Honor. Ready to give in yet, alright? I'll find a hole in your argument somehow. You can press as hard as you'd like, just hurry up with your usual pointless questions. Yeah, it's real nice to see him back. Alright. But in terms of popularity, Mr. Vanguard won, did he not? Yeah, but you know what's ironic, pal? Wonka Rhino was always one step behind Mr. Vanguard and everything. This year it seemed like he'd finally caught up, ready for the big final showdown. But Mr. Karida lost the Grand Prix in the end. It was too bad. He must have been downhearted after losing. What if the victim was actually the murderer? Wait just 1 second here. Mr. On Guard was beating Mr. Karida in the popularity polls. Well, yeah, I guess, but... Which means that in the defendant's eyes, the victim was not a rival at all. It means he had no motive to kill at all. which is a fair point. Yes, I quite agree. Detective? It's not, well, I guess if you put it that way, then yeah, the defendant wouldn't have had no motive. Detective, I'm beginning to see why you were fired. Eh? No, not you too, Mr. Edgeworth. That's... Look forward to your pension negotiations. No! Now, Detective, let's continue with the testimony. No, not my poor pension, too. Detective, if you value your money, I suggest you proceed. Yes, we can talk about my pension later, sir. What about what I was saying? Hello, anyone? Dude, I feel so bad for Gumshoe. Do you have any proof that the button belonged to the victim? Huh? What do you mean, pal? Oh, let's put it this way. Oh my god! You must even have any evidence to back up your claim that this button was ripped off of the Jammin' Ninja's costume. Huh? Can't you tell just by looking at it? And the victim's blood is on it. Anyone could have smeared that blood on there afterwards. But Mr. Edgeworth, help me, sir. I knew it had to be this piece of evidence. How to reel this one in. Thread. Huh? The button was attached to the costume by thread, obviously. That thread snapped when the button was torn off. You mash up the ends of the thread on the costume with the thread of the button. It's a perfect match. Yeah, that's it. Perfect match, pal. Yeah. That's Edgeworth for you. Never misses a beat. When was this button found? Pretty soon after the body was found, we rounded up everyone who knew Mr. Karida. And then we did a search on the mall. That's when we found the button. So it was almost immediately after the murder. Holy crap. The police didn't have the free time to lollygag and play tricks on like some people. Hey, what is he trying to say though? His fingerprints are also all over the knife. How are the fingerprints arranged on the knife? Huh? What do you mean, pal? By examining the fingerprints, you can determine how the defendant held the knife. For example, did he hold it normally or overhand? Oh, is that what you meant? Well, you didn't actually think of that. I can't believe the fumbling of this department. Hopeless. Are you paying attention to the testimony, right? The defendant's fingerprints were all over them. There's no way to determine how the knife was held in the moment of the murder. So is the defendant the owner of this knife, then? Bought this knife at the time it's premeditated? I don't know about that one. There's no way this is premeditated murder, even if he bought the knife. Sorry, pal, this isn't some pocket knife. It doesn't fold, so it's not great for walking around with either. Yeah, well, this is not good. Prosecution can prove it was a premeditated murder we're done for. Phoenix? Yeah? Something very interesting about what the detective said just now. Think carefully, before it's too late. Covered in the victim's blood and the knife with Engarde's fingerprints. Be grateful. If the judge were more rash, he would have already pounded his gavel in closing. You're still in a world of trouble. Well, before any battle, you must find your enemy's weakness. Let's find the weakness in this testimony, no matter how small it may be. Okay, Phoenix? It's gotta be the knife. That it was premeditated. But I don't know if I have evidence to prove that. I don't think I have evidence of the food. Gatewater is engraved? Okay, before I present. I think that's the correct thing to do. Is present the knife. Yes. Wait a second. What? So basically the argument is that it was a premeditated murder is simply that my client bought a knife beforehand. That's right, pal. The defendant did not buy this knife. Yeah? I think I could look at the handle on this knife. Let's see what I'm talking about. Huh? It has Gatewater seal set into the handle. Gatewater? I think I've heard that name somewhere before. That's the name of the hotel? The Gatewater Hotel? Wow. The murder knife was actually property of the hotel, which means this murder was not premeditated. How can you be that stupid? Yes, this is very true. This is a very big... What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm sorry. Defense is simply too careless. What? I think whether the crime was premeditated or not has already been determined. How so? I admit this knife is hotel property. There's no one currently on the police force that is dumb enough to not realize this. But I... The question is... where did this knife come from? Well, it's obvious. It came from the victim, Mr. Provider's room. Sorry, Your Honor, but that is incorrect. The victim ate a last meal before he was murdered, if that being the case. With the draw to the court's attention, what was on top of the table? There's a knife and a fork on the table. Then, where in the world did this knife come from? If it pleases the court, I would like for us to recall the room of the defendant, Mr. Matt on guard. Yeah, it came from his room. Especially what was on top of his table. There's something missing. Perhaps it is a single knife? We investigated the leftover dishes for fingerprints, and while we were investigating, we came to the conclusion that Mr. Matt Onguard's knife was missing. Mr. Ongard had gone to the victim's room with the knife he had used during dinner. Why would he carry a knife on a visit? To kill, of course. And with that, I believe the prosecution has proven this was a premeditated murder. Well, I don't know about that one, but... Amazing, Mr. Edgeworth. Absolutely brilliant. A brilliantly clear deduction. It seems like Edgeworth had this plan from the very beginning. This must be one of those traps, and we just walked headlong into it. A murder weapon with fingerprints and a button from the victim's costume. There's quite a sizable amount of evidence here. I can safely say that any further deliberation is a waste of your Honor's time. Although, I wouldn't mind if the defense were to present evidence not yet shown in the court. Evidence not yet shown? It means evidence that the court hasn't seen yet. In other words, new evidence. What does the defense have to say about this, Mr. Wright? Well, Phoenix? We're just favoring the prosecution right now. If the answer was something wrong here, that gavel of this will be ringing out the sound of our feet. Mr. Wright, do you have something important and necessary to present to this court? I don't know if I do. I feel like I have to be. There's one piece of evidence that catches my attention. Something that this court has yet to see. Mr. Wright, we'll say this one more time. I do not feel this trial needs to continue at all. However, I'm giving you one chance, and only one. The judge is saying right, just don't try pulling one of your usual bluffs here. To mess this up, it's curtains for all of us. Oh, it really do be curtains. Okay. I feel like it's gotta be the wine glass. Now then, this is important evidence that you must show the court. Right. I don't think the camera really matters right now. We already talked about the guitar. I think it has to be the wine glass. There was struggle. But this was just there. This is a wine glass, is it not? Let's look at the photo of the crime scene one more time. The scene is a mess because of the victim's struggle against his assailant. The vase was broken, his makeup was all over the floor. These are all things that were at one point sitting on top of the dresser. Oh, yes, I see your point. However, this glass that is sitting on top of the dresser was seriously untouched. The thing that had not fallen over along with everything else was this wine glass. This piece of evidence is more than strange enough to warrant further consideration. Well, what do you have to say? Oh, well, yes. It's a little peculiar. Yes, isn't it? I thought it was. You can stop looking at me with those puppy dog eyes of yours now. Mr. Edgeworth? What is it, Your Honor? Your opinion. You don't need my opinion. Because there is no special meaning to that glass. What? I disagree. Safe to say that glass was set there after the crime took place. But the person who discovered the body, Adrian Andrews, for example. He could have easily been so shocked that she set the glass down without thinking. That does sound very plausible. Mr. Wright. Did Miss Andrews really have set that glass down without thinking? No, there's no way. Why would she do that? I appear weak here, the trial's over. Look for my proof later. For now, just trust my instinct to point with certainty. I fell for it. If you're thought-provoking enough. The defense would like to challenge the prosecution's theory. We would like to see something that proves it was Miss Andrews who set the cup on the table. You've turned the situation on its head yet again, as usual. Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any proof to back up your claim? There's no way he has any. He's just bluffing. And like Mr. Wright, I never say anything unless I have the evidence to support it. What? Oh, God. Whew. That was not fun. You're not thinking hard enough today, Wright. Did you think this wine glass escaped my notice? Then, of course it has been thoroughly inspected. For fingerprints? Fingerprints? There were only one set of fingerprints left on this wine glass. Only one? Well, whose were they? They were none other than the victims or the defendants, whether they were the one Adrian Andrews. What? Updated. There's Andrews' fingerprints. Which is why I said that the person who had discovered the body had left it there. Are we done here, Mr. Wright? Really, I fell into another trap. Miss Andrews was probably holding the glass when she went to see Mr. Corrida. But upon seeing his dead body, she was stunned and set the glass down on the dresser. God, she is cute. What you just said makes a lot of sense. Kiss, kiss, kiss. Now do you see, Wright? Can't change any part of my scenario as it explains everything all too well. I thought long and hard this past year about what it means to be a prosecutor. From here on out, I will show you the answer I have come to discover. Wait a second, Mr. Edgeworth. I think the prosecution has provided enough evidence for me to enter my verdict. Unfortunately, I cannot allow you to pass judgment yet. The prosecution has yet another witness he would like the court to hear from. Another witness? Yes. Bailiff, please bring in the next witness. What in the world is Mr. Edgeworth thinking? I don't know. He already has the case won. He doesn't need Old Man. Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. Witness, your name and occupation, please. Ugh. Gotcha! I wonder what happened to that calm composure he had earlier. Oh, Wedgie boy, it's been, what, a year since we last met, hasn't it? You should be more happy to see me. I saw the report with her testimony, but who knew that under the helmet? It was the Wicked Witch of the witness stand. I tell you, this time I know what I'm supposed to do. So, Day, I'm gonna tell you anything and everything. Even things that don't have to do with that terrible crime. This witness, that terrible crime is all the court needs to know. Ooh. Shush, I'm talking with my dear Edgy Wedgie right now. I don't know what does, Gramps. Yes, madam. No, please, by all means, interrupt her. Please. Anyway, witness your testimony, please. It's true what they say. That youth and hot-headed... Oh my god. The youth are hot-headed nowadays? Not that I mind at all, Edgy. Now then, what should I start with? The witness was on security detail at the hotel on the night of the murder. Is this correct, Miss Oldbag? It was a great job being able to see my dear Ewan. It was almost too much for my little heart to handle. You mean, kind of the victim? Look, everyone's crazy over that on God, saying he's cute in a fresh way or something. But not me.
I wouldn't say anything so silly. After all, I have no interest in an old child like him. I'm interested in a real man, Juan Corrida. Those two are the same age. Anyway, as I was saying, I was pacing in front of the room that night. Very well, please tell the court what you witnessed that night of the murder. Leave it to me, Yajipu. God, shut up. What you witnessed. Anyway, after the ceremony... They got Injustice at Dave & Buster's? Like, a cabinet? Why? Why would they get an Injustice cabinet? As in, like, Injustice 1? That was Injustice 1. Why is it Injustice 1? But no, I didn't know that. Why? Why did they... Like, I knew those cabinets existed. I've seen them before. Because I've gone to conventions and whatnot, and they have, you know, big game rooms, and they do fighting game tournaments at these conventions from time to time. And in there, they had Injustice because they were running an Injustice tournament, so they had Injustice setups. It was interesting, and some cabinets for it, which is cool. I dig fighting game cabinets. They're always a good time. But I did not know that they had Injustice cabinets at D&D. Because who would go to D&D when you can go to round 1? It's way better. Anyway, for the ceremony, I went to pace around the hallway in front of his room. There was something I was interested in finding out, you know? Since I was on the job, I made sure to keep a good eye out for the whole time. That's when someone showed up. It was a man coming out of poor Juan's room. It was on guard. Mad on guard. He was trying to sneak his way out of Juan's room. God, I hate that old bag of snacks so much.
So Mr. On Guard came out from the victim's room.
See, it has to be him. He's the murderer.
I see. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
I don't buy it. I have a feeling we have another Steel Samurai situation here. Where it's actually the dude, it's a dude in a costume. Also, yes, he's there. He is the prosecutor because Francisca got shot, which is unfortunate and very sad. Let's begin the pressing of everything if I figure out what I'm doing. Miss Soldbag, what was your post on that night? The lobby. I was supposed to help set up the stage for that trifling show, but I refused to help, I'll have you know. It was for that lead-headed samurai's show. Yeah, she got shot in the shoulder, so she's fine. She's under surgery right now, but she got shot. Hey, I even took out a few of the nails. Maybe it was a good thing the show didn't go on. Besides, that manager with the glasses seemed to be working hard at it without me. I sure didn't shoot anybody. She was shot by, I mean, as far as we're aware, she was shot by the killer. Because he said we would have a present today. And then we come into court and Von Karma's missing. She got shot. But I'll take a little break and spread my wings a little. And that's when you went to hang her on the victim's door. That's what's interesting finding out, you know? Something you were interested in? And just what was that? It's not some little thing I can just go around telling everyone, you know. It's top secret between me and Juan. Najipu, of course.
Mr. Edwards, what is this thing she was interested in?
I have no idea. I despise gossip, Your Honor. Gossip? But should it prove relevant, we can always have it appended to her testimony later. It looks like we shouldn't force it right now.
Had the witness in the vicinity of the victim's door the entire time?
Oh, would you tell us the number of people who went in and out of Mr. Corda's room? Yeah, I have no idea. I wasn't born so I could... Oh my god. I wasn't born so I could count things for those who didn't pay attention in class. That's why ever since I turned 20, I quit keeping track of how old I really am.
Yes, well, that would explain why your age was not included in the report.
In any case, the witness then saw someone, correct? Who in the world was that? Yeah, I'm not allowed to say. This sort of information has to be carefully guarded from the masses, Sonny. The man that came out of the Juan's room. He was...
Yes, he was.
I'm too scared. I can't say his name out loud.
Oh, what I wouldn't give to have Francisca's whip right about now. Well, I guess I can tell you since it was just a bad boy anyway. It was on guard. I don't buy it for a second. You saw my client? Are you sure about that? Yes, see? Really? Annoying brat, when I say I saw someone, I saw that person. Why do I get the sense of deja vu? Maybe to avoid a repeated last year, I should delve into this a bit further. The person's clothes. You saw the corner of the man's clothes in more detail. What a troublesome man you are, really. Nothing like that matters. But it does. Now what was it? Oh, yes, it was that thing. What thing? That gaudy thing he's always wearing, that racing jacket. God, he's so hot. Ah, he was wearing that at the detention center, too. That thing's meant for nothing but seducing women out of their pantaloons. Men. Right. So, Mr. Wright, was this testimony just now important or relevant in any way? That? Not important, I don't think. I guess it really wasn't that important after all. Mr. Wright, do you know why we say time is valuable? If not, I suggest you learn. You wasted 3 minutes of this woman's youth. That's more valuable than gold to me. Why does they feel old in the presence of her childish whining? I don't remember things or be mistaken here, but when there. But I don't think she's lying. That's bad for us. Really bad. But that's how the human mind is. It also has a tendency to jump off topic. She's turned into a few interesting side topics this time too, hasn't she? But that's what makes her a sweet old lady, right? It's because you're not the one who has to question her. Let me ask... Whoops! There are less statements than I thought there were. Alright, I want to ask about... the face. This is the corner of the man's face in more detail. You don't need me to tell you about his face. That soft, gentle look in his eyes, and his effeminate lips. His right eye covered by his silky hair, his sparkling, shining teeth. His teeth were shining? Well, he's shining all around in this week's pinup poster, dearie. This week's pinup? Why do you... I mean, I don't care how he looks in this week's issue. Please stay with what you saw that night. But, some guy's face is the same no matter where it is, you know? You whippersnapper. So, Mr. Wright, is this video still important or relevant in any way? I don't think so. Okay. What about... Are you sure it was my client? Really? What was the person carrying? What was it that you saw carrying? In which hand? His right or his left? Oh, now that's a real mess. I mean, I can't be expected to answer such a vague question. Indeed. Please be more specific with your question, Mr. Wright. Sorry, what was the man you saw carrying in his right hand? He wasn't carrying anything in that hand. Then how about his left? Empty. Well, this whole thing has been a lot of nothing. So, Mr. Wright, is this something just now important? Relevant in any way? Is that important? Oh no. I feel like that... isn't that important. I want to go back to the outfit. Right? Because she said he was wearing the jacket, right? But the button was found on the Hakama, which would be... it should be that. Why would he be wearing the jacket and only... like, he would probably be in his normal street clothes. Which, I've got to say, look pretty nice. He got good style. I said it yesterday, I'm gonna say it again. The dude looks like a KOF character, and I'm all for it. so he's wearing his crazy, ridiculous outfit. Like, he straight up looks like a KOF character. Like, I can literally see the trailer right now for him in KOF 15. Alright. That was very important. Because he wouldn't be in the outfit. Of course it was important, Your Honor. Then perhaps you would like to point out what part of that testimony was important? Don't you see it, Ezrath? Your Honor, I request what the witness said about the jacket be appended to her testimony. I don't quite see where you're going with this, but alright, witness, please. Ah, well, I don't like the bad mouthing without reason, but if I must. Wearing his flashy racing jacket? Honestly, it's all just for show. Okay. Wish the defendant was wearing a racing jacket? What do you think? It's not like I've seen him in anything other than that horrible thing. I'm sure he was wearing it. She's so sure of herself that it's the point of self-absorption. Alright. That would contradict the button. Right? Hopefully. Because if he's wearing the jacket, he wouldn't be in the coma. Yeah! Miss Old Bag. What? Don't say my name for no reason. Do you know what this is? It's button number 2 on the Jammin' Ninja's costume. Now I know she's an obsessed fan. She identified it in a single glance. Give it here, give it here! Don't give it to me, I'll punish you with this! Wow. He really is a die-hard fan to want a button covered in blood. This button was discovered on Mr. Enguarde's body during a full body search. See? This button proves beyond a shadow of a doubt it was that rascal Enguarde. It was caught up in the pleats of his Nickel Samurai Hakama pins. See? Enguarde is the Nickel Samurai. Witness? It may just be me. I do have an active imagination. But just now, didn't you say that the defendant, Matt Enguarde, was wearing his usual racing jacket? I'm so sorry. That you judge people based on what they wear. If I wore the trendiest dress, you might... Well, it's not to wear this ridiculous looking outfit, you'd agree. That's not for hideous, right? Silly. So happy I was so serious age. Oh, God. I'm not even gonna put that. That edgy poo. Now hold your tongue still there for 1 second. So what you saw in actuality is not Mr. Enguarde, the man. But Mr. Enguarde, the Nickel Samurai. Well, when you think about it. They're really one and the same anyway. Miss Oldback, this is a very important point we're talking about. Edgy poo, do you think so too? Well, it might be something worth considering. Just say it's important and agree with me for a change. Witness, think carefully and try to remember as much as you can before you testify. Alright, if you insist. I should be the one sighing, not you. Who I saw. Enguarde. Yes, now I remember. Nickel Samurai, that's right. It was Nickel Samurai that I saw. Yes, it would have been convenient for him to wear his costume during the murder. He had to go to that post-ceremony stage show right after the crime, you know? So he must have worn that Nickel Samurai costume when he was stabbing poor Juan. I knew it. I knew you'd say he was inside that costume. What? Did you think there could have been someone else inside that costume? Don't be a bad little boy thinking such rude things. But the possibility does exist. Youngins today, I told you there's no way it was anyone else. How do you know that? Because I said so. What I say is the truth. She's just as delightful a witness as she was a year ago. Let's right, you may cross-examine the witness. Alright, you can't possibly know that he was in the costume because he has a face mask. It's just like the Still Samurai all over again. You'd think she would have learned. Please get on with your testimony. What
Watch your language, young man. What sort of tone does it take with an elder? My youthfulness isn't what it used to be, so you should forgive me for everything. Keep on barking at me like that, I'll start singing at the top of my lungs. What? A striking figure by the sea, standing all alone is he. He's the Nickel Samurai. He's actually singing. Someone help my poor ears. Mr. Edgeworth, can you please do something about this racket? Witness, I'll give you a piece of gum later if you'll be good and stick it to just the facts. Okay. Promise, right? Right. I'll be sending the bill for the chewing gum to your office at a later date. I'd send you a thank you note later, too, Edgeworth. Old chum. Wow, what a guy. What a guy. I mean, I guess, you know, his funds are my funds, because, you know, we're married and whatnot. A little more careful with your testimony, please. Not too long ago, you said he was wearing his racing jacket, and now he's not? Not too long ago. Let me ask you this. When you were an itty-bitty... I'm sorry. When you were itty-bitty, what was your grand dream? Huh? What do you want to be when you grow up, whippersnapper? My dream, huh? Well, I want to be Judge Wagner, hero of the public court. So what? See? Look at where you are now. You're not Judge Wagner, are you? Are you? Well, like I said earlier, who puts any weight on things like that? The now is everything. I can't be held responsible for the past. Since when did court become theatrics over testimonies? All that matters is the man was inside the costume. Isn't that enough? You can't prove he was in it, though. There's no way you can prove that. And why would that be? Now I know I can see his face, of course. But there's still no advantage for him that I can see. In fact, you would think the costume would make him stand out all the more. You're such an annoying child. I'm sorry. You are such a annoying child. Improper grammar. You know that? You disagree with everything I say. Isn't that what you're always doing to me? I got it. Maybe it was more troublesome for him to change in and out of his costume. Even that post-ceremony show? Was there anyone else scheduled to appear at that post-ceremony show? Well, all the contestants were supposed to go on stage in a friendly gesture thing. And that included the Jammin' Ninja. Of course it included him. That's why when On Guard came out of Dear Juan's room, I didn't give it a second thought. I see. Well, anyway. You must have worn that? Let me ask you one last time. The person you saw, it really was the Nickel Samurai. As surely as ever. Haven't I been saying that from the very beginning? Can I throw in the towel yet? You don't need to think too hard on this one. Huh? There's a contradiction in our testimony that's sitting in plain sight. The question is, what that contradiction means for us. I'll have to figure out what you're talking about first, but okay. It's that there's no way she can confirm the identity. I just, So the costume has gloves. Which is interesting as well. Just said there was nothing in his hands. It's a Nickel Samurai. Would have been convenient for him to wear the costume during the murder. Go to that post-ceremony show. When he was stabbing poor Juan? I mean... I feel like it's a stretch to say that because the costume has gloves, there wouldn't be fingerprints? Because... how would there be fingerprints all over the knife if he's wearing gloves? But also, this is clearly his dinner knife, so... maybe that doesn't matter? I guess I could always present a profile, too. But I don't know who I would present.
You know what? I think it's a little rough to do. I think the logic line is a little sketchy. But apparently it's correct. Just take a look at this. Every time I do, it makes me laugh. Yeah, so it's a knife. Big deal. If you're trying to scam me with that, I'll have you know it won't work. No, that's not my intention at all. That's the knife that was used for the murder, correct? Your Honor, do you know why this piece of evidence is important to this case? You don't even have to ask. It's because the defendant's fingerprints are on it. Is that what you're driving at? That's exactly what I'm driving at. What are we driving at? Whose car are we driving? Well, it's Edward's car. And we're driving at a tunnel right now that will lead us to the parking garage where Edgeworth has a dead body in his car. It's a fun throwback to Case 5, Ace Attorney 1. Haha. If Mr. On Guard was really in the Nickel Samurai costume at the time of the murder, then it's impossible for his fingerprints to have been left on this knife. Actually, he would have wiped all previous fingerprints on the knife right off. Ooh. Oh, that's right. The Nickel Samurai wears gloves, doesn't he? He probably took his gloves off before he began stabbing. And why would he do something like that? Leave his prints on the murder weapon? There's no way he would do something like that. However, there is one possibility. Then let's hear your possibility. It's very simple. The defendant went to the victim's room while in costume as the Nickel Samurai. At that time, the defendant had no intent to murder. He was probably just going to relax to talk with the victim about the stage show. Which is why he took his gloves off. But the murder still did take place. It's further that there was bad blood between the defendant and the victim. Yes, I've heard that before. That's right. What do you say about Mr. Edward's theory? Let me get this straight. Edward's theory goes like this. The defendant went to the victim's room, he had no intention of killing him? Now, up to this point, are there any problems with this theory? There is in fact a contradiction. If he had no intent to kill them, why did he bring a knife? This theory contradicts something in an earlier testimony. What are you blabbing about? Or babbling about? For argument's sake, let's say, hypothetically speaking, for the sake of the argument, that let's suppose that Mr. On Guard was the killer. If that were the case, I think it's impossible for the killer to have gone to the victim's room without intent. Probably the knife, right? Yeah, because why he would have to bring the knife? This knife. This was used by Mr. On Guard at dinner. Yes, we did establish that. Which means that if my client was, in fact, the killer, then he brought this knife with him when he went to visit Mr. Corridor. I suppose. However, you just said it yourself. At that time, the defendant held no intent to murder. If that were true, then why would he bring a knife? He wouldn't, would he? Which means, Mr. Edgeworth, your theory is flawed from the... Oh, your theory was flawed from supposition 1. That's a word. Supposition 1? And one more thing. If the murderer was wearing the costume at the time of the murder, then there should be glove marks left on the knife. Which means the defendant's fingerprint should be all over it like bees on a hive. That brings me to my final point. This knife was planted by the real killer to hide their identity and mislead us. Ooh. Order, I say! Order of the court! Was this knife really planted by the killer? Why would the murderer do such a thing? To frame that, duh. To frame my client, Mr. On Guard, of course. To frame? Aren't you forcing the interpretation just a little too hard on this one? But we just established that the witness saw the Nickel Samurai in costume. If that were true, then there shouldn't be a single fingerprint on this knife. Ugh. Witness. Looks like I made your life a tiny bit more difficult, huh, Chipu? Witness, did you, or did you not really see the Nickel Samurai? Well, I guess at first I might have forgotten, but... Are you saying you mixed up Mr. On Guard with the Nickel Samurai, his character on TV? I mean, I can't really do anything about that now.
Look, I was waiting right in front of the door because, well, I wasn't waiting around for the Nickel Samurai, that's for sure. She wasn't waiting for the Nickel Samurai. Alright then. Who were you waiting for then? That's top secret to anyone outside of security. I have a feeling that you were waiting for Mr. Juan Corrida. Am I correct, witness? The way you think you are a steady amateur with a terrible case of nearsightedness. Amateur? Me? What am I an amateur of? Well, Daph was waiting around in front of the victim's room, but it doesn't sound like she was waiting to catch a glimpse of Mr. Corrida. Maybe Phoenix? Maybe old Daph was waiting around for that person. If it's Sue, it's who I think me is hinting at. It's certainly possible. Miss Oldback? You were waiting for this person to come out of the victim's room, weren't you? Probably Ashley. Not Ashley. And Adrian. Adrian Andrews, right? Not Ashley. Because of the gossip. God, she's so cute. Who is this person? This is Adrian Andrews, Miss Strongar's manager. But why would the defendant's manager be in the victim's room? It seems that this is the latest rumor in circulation, Your Honor. This is. I see. It just seems to be really into the article. You'd think it'd be helpful to think. And this manager with initials AA, are you saying it's Adrian Andrews? Without doubt, the witness thought so as well. Looks like you found me out. Well, that's fine. I can throw away this whole sworn to confidentiality stuff then. The witness? What in the world are you? Watch out, Phoenix. I've got a bad feeling about this. A very bad feeling. I got some information. Some very secret information from a certain source. So, that's why I was doing my own little investigation. In secret, of course. But for what for? No, just for myself. Personal reasons and all that. Well, Mr. Edwards, I'll proceed from here. I really don't want to do this, however, I cannot simply let this point slide. I see. Very well then, witness, please testify about this secret information. Get ready. It's gonna take the wind out of your youngins. I don't think I'm sure with that rock for a moment. Great time for water, you know? I'm sure we'll keep handling this, really. It's only for 10 years old. Secret information. That on-god is one evil man. He thought he could ruin Port Juan by causing a huge scandal. So to do that, he sent his own manager to get in close with Juan. I cannot condone such dirty tricks, so I took action. Oh, and this is top secret, you got that? Nobody else but you and me know yet, okay? God, old bag, I hate you. The defendant sent his manager? For a distasteful topic for this court. What? Nobody's above gossip. And isn't there a saying, the truth is never pleasant? Never heard that one before. Mr. Edgeworth, what about this Adrian Andrews person? We have looked into this matter, and found that the truth of the article proposes is, in fact, baseless gossip. But should this be true, this proves the defendant did bear ill will toward the victim. So this means I have to smash this rumor once and for all. Now then, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Be careful, the old bag seems rather excited right now. That's right, I'm good. It's nothing but an average foul-blooded youth. Well, as the old saying goes, you've got to burn old bags with fire. To fire up the afterburners and hit the highway to the danger zone. What is with these references? There's so many. This game is just filled to the brim with references. It's crazy. I still can't believe Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Excuse Me, Princess we're both in the same. Like, why? Why? Alright, then there was one evil man. You can't say something like that without proof. That's just slander. But it's true. That woman was getting intimate with Port Juan. Look, it says so right here, doesn't it? Manager to the stars, Miss AA. But the name of the magazine this came from is Gossip Way. What? Are you saying that gossip is all just a pack of lies? What do you know? Suppose next you'll swear to me that the news is 100% truth. No, she's not a point there. Honestly, Sonny, you can't discriminate between the news and gossip.
Yes, discrimination is bad, Mr. Wright. Discriminate? When did I do anything like that? Anyway, Angar will never get me to say touché. You know, sometimes the news is wrong. I won't lie. They do things wrong sometimes. Report of misinformation. It happens. A scandal? What do you mean by that? You're a dim little one, aren't you? I can't believe you don't know about what a scandal is. Honestly, what are they teaching kids in middle school these days? No. I wasn't asking what the word scandal means. Even I know that much. Well, that Angar thought he could own a monopoly on popularity. So he sent his own manager to control the wand. Ugh. I don't have any proof that Mr. Angar did any such thing. You must be suffering from shock, the shock of hearing the truth. And now, since you're in so much shock, you can't do anything right. You're right, I can't do anything, but boy, do I wish I could do something about you. Alright then, Sonny, show me what you've got. You show me proof that Angar didn't bear any ill will towards Juan? Ooh. Sure. I'm not gonna let you push me around that easily. There's many a man who said the exact words and paid daily for them. You know, maybe you should brace yourself this time. Here's my proof that Mr. Angar did not hold any ill will towards the victim. Honestly, I don't know if I have anything. I don't know, dude. He said, you can take it from here, Edgy Poo. No, what are you handing it over to me for? You can give that jagged-headed baboon boy a message for me, please. Tell him that no matter what he does, the only thing he's good at is failing. What she said, right? Or should I say, baboon boy? Yes, I agree this isn't much of a piece of evidence, baboon boy. Well, you don't gotta call me that too, Mr. Judge. Did I just get a new nickname here? Don't lecture to me about saying things without proof. Just giving me a free pass to say whatever I want, whenever I want, silly boy. You know, my big mouth. That's the way the cookie crumbles. For you, anyway. I condone such dirty tricks. So, what do you mean by I took action? I already told you I was lying in wait close to the crime scene. That slimy woman came out of Juan's room. Gonna capture her and teach her a good lesson. Something you youngins need. You were going to teach her a good lesson? It's gonna make her eat the damaging beams of my ray gun. Like this. No, stop! Well, it's too bad that woman didn't come through the door that night. And it's top secret. Got that? Can't tell nobody. Wait. What? I'm a busy woman. Tea time with the kids is over. Is your information that no one else knows yet? If that's true, then how do you know the secret information? Well, that's because I'm a pro, yes, that's it. It's a secret. Even if you drilled the hole into my brain, you'll never find one. Find out. I don't love that whole bag of such a secret piece of information. Press further. If you don't be a good girl and tell me where you got the secret information, you won't get to go home today. Actually, Pooh, what are you doing? Help me. What do I have to do with this? Just do this for me. You'll get your reward. I don't want your reward, but you don't leave me much of a choice. The witness could have gotten her information from anywhere. It's even possible that it was spontaneously made up inside the witness's head. And he lectures me on reckless blabbering? As long as we don't know where this information came from, it's quite a waste of time to focus on the side of questioning. I don't know if I get her inside information. Must be something I can use to figure it out. It's like just another tidbit of gossip, doesn't it? I can't just ignore it either, and it can't look bad either way. Well, I don't think I heard anything really ordinary just now. There's something we can catch her on. Yeah, and when I find it, I'm gonna press the heck out of it. What are my other options here? I'm not gonna lie, I just kind of immediately saw press further, and went, let's do it. Is that evidence, maybe? So, no one else is supposed to know this is secret information, correct? That's true. But why do I know it, Miss Oldbag? Why are you looking at me like that? Stop that. Witness. I'd say it, but this is how you came to acquire secret info, wasn't it? Oh, probably the camera, right? Golden camera, it had the article in it? The investigative photographer, a lot of heart. Oh, yes, I remember that mischievous girl. She reported that she had lost a certain note she had written to herself. She reported such a thing. On that piece of paper, she had written down some of her outraged impressions about the relationship between the victim and Miss Andrews. What outrageous ideas, you say? No, I said impressions. Then everything written on this piece of paper is completely meaningless. Ah, that's it. That's the note. No! You see, this is something completely different. This is my top secret list of groceries to buy. You're the one who took Miss Hart's note. I'm a huge fan of Juan, that's why. This infamous puffy-head whippersnapper. He's working with that evil on guard. She said it herself. She says to herself, on guard, I'm his sidekick. She was so happy, smelling like a silly duck. I was only checking what she had written. Archie Poo, you believe me, don't you? I'm only trying to help out like the angel I am. Only one little piece of paper. I've never taken anything else before. You really should come with a supply of cheese to match your vintage wine. So, God. Oh, Ezra, killing me. Well, it was only a piece of paper. I suppose we could have looked at this just once. I think she's really sorry. Should I forgive her? Oh, no, we gotta pile it on, man. If I let up on her now, she'll get away. I have to find some way to inflict a deafening blow to the prosecution. Witness. You said that the only thing you stole was that note. Is this correct? Stole? Why don't you listen more carefully, you annoying brat? I saved this piece of paper from the terrible only trash can, that's all. You're lying, damn it, and I can prove it. Can you put my credibility under scrutiny again? Miss Oldbag. I don't believe that the note is the only thing you stole that night. The camera as well, because it was missing. But they had pictures. Or rather, lack thereof. Miss Oldbag. That note was with the camera inside its case, wasn't it? The camera? Yesterday, Lotta Hart was raising a huge stink over her camera. She kept saying something like, my sweetie $1,600 camera disappeared on me. Why, witness! What is it, Gramps? If you have the note, it's only logical that you have the camera, too. Yeah. Looks like you found me out again, Sonny. Is this the camera you're looking for? That's... What? Even though I look like this, I'm still a person, you know. I still eat meals like you. I still fall in love. I still borrow things from people. I think your definition of borrow is a little off. I saw the woman's business card, and that's when I note. Oh my god. Noticed it said, Slime Bag Celebrity Photographer Extraordinaire. Well, when I saw that, I had to know what sort of pictures she'd take. Professional security guard, it's my business to know what these things. Know these things. Bailiff! Take those camera's photos, hurry. We must examine them at once. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do we have? There's only one photo that seems to be relevant to this case. Please present it to the court. Wow, that was super slow. This is This is the Nickel Samurai.
See, I told you, that's the guy I saw.
The witness was not lying earlier about this matter. Let's put it on the court record. So what does all this mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photo by itself doesn't prove the person in it is the defendant. However, in his own confession, Mr. On Guard clearly stated that at the time of the murder, he was still in his Nickel Samurai costume. If that is the case, then this Nickel Samurai costume is... But this Nickel Samurai is... the defendant. How did it come to this? I think this brings us to the end. We've examined every piece of evidence thoroughly. Final comments, Mr. Wright. The court will consider them before we close. You think this photo is decisive evidence against your client? This photo really is decisive. I'm done for. I've raised an objection here and blow it? Don't put Maya's life in jeopardy. I can't make a mistake here. There's only one road out of this mess. Oh boy. This photo that Lada took, there's gotta be something wrong. There's something strange with this photo. I knew this was coming, right? Your thoughts, Mr. Edgeworth? I think we can all agree there's nothing strange with this photo. There's no way for the defense to debunk this photo even with a bunker buster. To debunk with a bunker buster? Is that what you're planning to do, Mr. Wright? Anyways, please look at the photo one more time. I know. It's just so funny every time I look at it. I believe you can honestly find something wrong with this photo. And you should only need one chance, correct? And I want to take a quick look at the Nickel Samurai. It does not... Okay. Okay. I thought it seemed like he was dragging the legs. But the normal Nickel Samurai costume doesn't seem to do that. Well, what's the thing wrong with this photo? I can't let this chance go by. When the heck did she take this photo from anyway? It's a lot of focus. Why can't she take a good shot, especially when it counts? Now then, let's hear your objection. I'm going to save. I only get one shot at this one. But I think it's going to be the feet. What about this photo is strange? The tootsies. I can't see the tootsies. That's good, right? I would like to direct the court's attention to this one area right here. What are you pointing to? His ankles? If you could see this person's ankles, that would be one thing. However, you can't. And what does that mean? The costumed person in this photo could not have been Mr. On Guard. What is the meaning of this? I wonder if you would care to elaborate. Actual facts, that is. Let's take a look at the Nickel Samurai's poster. Please pay particular attention to the area around the bottom of the Hakama. His socks. You can see his socks. Exactly. However, in this photo, the Nickel Samurai is clearly holding his Hakama up to holding his Hakama up just to walk. There's only one explanation for this. The person inside this costume is clearly much shorter than the defendant. And Miss Adrian Andrews is quite short. I think I've turned things around for myself this time. That's curious. Huh? What is it? Edgeworth is usually calm today. Unusually calm today. That's true. He was letting the trial run itself, as if he's only along for the ride. Along for the ride? What do you mean by that? I only guess that perhaps he doesn't feel under attack at all. He doesn't feel under attack? Then I haven't damaged his case at all. Mr. Edgeworth, where does this leave us? If the person in this photo was not Madame Guard, then everything the prosecution has tried to prove has become meaningless. I figured it would come to this. What? Right. I have something I want to ask you. I think you have proven that the person inside this costume is not Madame Guard. In that case, who is this a photo of? Who's the person wearing the Nicholas Samurai costume? Just thought over this, Phoenix. Very simple. You should be focused on his Edward's attitude, don't you think? Yeah. Why is he so calm? Mr. Wright, let's hear your thoughts. Who is the person in this photograph? And why is it every time I look at it, it makes me laugh? It's gotta be Adrian. Adrian Andrews? If you want to know who that Nicholas Samurai is, it's none other than this woman. Why would you say it must be Miss Andrews? What points you to her? For starters, she's short, and she can freely move in and out of Mr. Engarde's room. Finally, she had dinner with Mr. Engarde that night. And how does all that add up? It means that it makes it very easy for her to get a certain item. A certain knife with Mr. Engarde's fingerprints all over it. The knife that was used as the murder weapon. Why don't you just say what it is you want, right? I have to do this now. It's my last chance to turn things around. The defense moves to indict Miss Adrian Andrews as the murderer of Juan Carida. It was Miss Andrews who tried to frame the defendant for the crime. Ooh. Order, order, order! Looks like this trial has hit a most unexpected development. But Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. This court is issuing a subpoena for Miss Adrian Andrews. Murder cannot be passed without first hearing her testimony. Alright, this is it. This is kind of bad for us. Huh? What do you mean? Adrian Andrews is summoned to court as a witness. You know the trial will go on for another day. One more day. Ah! Look at a verdict today, then Maya. Now then, you should set Miss Andrews' testimony for tomorrow. What am I supposed to do? It's just about to adjourn court. No! I have to raise an objection. Please, Your Honor, continue the trial. You must pass a verdict today. I can't do that. You cannot hear Miss Andrews' testimony if she is not. I abhor wasting such valuable time. With Edgeworth. Your Honor, I request that you please continue with today's trial. But we cannot continue due to this unexpected development. This unexpected development? I think you underestimate me, Your Honor. And what do you mean by that? That Mr. Phoenix Wright would slave his way to subpoenaing Miss Adrian Andrews is all happening according to plan. Even if Wright was a bit slow to catch on. What? He knew? Oh my god. What was the meaning of your statement, Mr. Edgeworth? Adrian Andrews is currently waiting in the prosecution's lobby. She's the next witness. Everything was planned out in advance by that man? Somehow I knew there was no way Edgeworth would overlook Miss Andrews. So this battle is far from over. Exactly. Very well. We will call the next witness. However, before we proceed, we shall take a 10-minute recess. Please prepare your witness in that time, Mr. Edgeworth. The court will now take a 10-minute recess. Whew. Good boy. Oh, man. I can't believe it. Oh boy. That first part took an hour and a half by itself. We might only be doing a trial today. Because if the part takes that long, then kind of, you know, let's kind of in it. Or we'll only do like part of the investigation. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. But we can for sure continue going with the rest of this trial. Let's do exactly that. Oh god. March 22nd, 2:14 p.m. Dang. We were in there for 4 hours and 14 minutes. That's crazy. Dude, I can't believe that, Adrian. No way. Not cool and collected Adrian Andrews. she is your manager. It would have been very easy for her to pull this off. The only person who had easy access to the knife you used at dinner was, well, her. So after the ceremony during the break, huh? I was sleeping like a log the entire time. See, she could have also easily planted the blood-covered button in your Hakama. God, she's so cute. Because she was the one that came to wake me up. Then, dude, you're saying it really was her? Yes, she is the real killer. She was the one who murdered. She was the one who murdered Juan Corrida. But why? I thought she was buds with Juan. She has her own agenda. Her own agenda? What are you talking about? I'm sure you'll see by the time this trial's over. It'll be alright. I'll get you acquitted by the end of the day. Get me a verdict that's refreshing like a spring breeze, okay, Mr. Lloyd, dude? Phoenix? Do you think your motive is related to Celeste Impact's missing suicide note, right? Yes. Miss Andrews depends on Miss Impacts as her strength and reason to live. But then Miss Impact suddenly killed herself. It sounds like she left a suicide note and the person thought to have hidden it. Is Juan Corrida, the victim of this murder. And that's why I think that Miss Andrews got close to Miss Corrida. Mr. Corrida, not Miss. All to get that suicide note back. That sounds plausible. But one thing bothers me. What? When did they first told us about their relationship? Better stated, Miss Andrews' dependency issues with regards to Miss Impacts. It was Edgeworth. Looks like he's still the one in command of the ship. Don't you guard down yet. Oh boy. March 22nd, 2:25 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 3. Oh, there he is. There's the boy. What will now reconvene? Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you please. The prosecution calls the witness subpoenaed by this court. Miss Adrian Andrews, the person who discovered the crime in Mr. Corrida's room. Now, I know I keep flipping back and forth between Corrida and Corrida. That's because I have no idea how to pronounce it, so... What is your occupation? The manager of the defendant in this case, Mr. Matt Ongard. I see! Now then. Before we begin, Your Honor, I have one request. Yeah, sure, what is it? I'm sure everyone in this room is wondering the same thing. I would love to find out more about my relationship with the victim. After all, it was the topic of a certain weekly magazine recently. No, I have no idea what you mean. I've never even heard of Gossip Plan. This was never a prosecution witness. But if the judge was ever a prosecution witness, he'd do all my work for me. Anyway, I was wondering if you could please tell us about your relation to the victim. Yeah, I was seeing Mr. Corrida. I was also aware of the rivalry that existed between Matt and Juan, but this was a private matter between Juan and myself. So it was a fry and bait matter. Or was that bait and fry? Might be fishing. But I didn't kill him. No one is accusing you of that. I think there's someone who would beg to differ. I think we all understand your relationship with the victim now, Miss Andrews. Very well then, witness. Please testify to the court about what happened when you discovered the murder that had taken place. When I found the body, it lay limp and still in a chair, missing a button. So I jabbed a knife into it. It was time for the show to start, so I went to get Matt from his room. After that, I went to Juan's room, and there was his dead body. I was in shock. When I saw what was naturally the exact same scene as in the crime scene photo, I felt as though I was about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice. What? You poured yourself a glass of juice? Yes, sadly I didn't remember not to touch things on the scene of the crime. I disturbed the crime scene by moving this one thing. And that was when the fingerprints in the wine glass were made, Your Honor. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Phoenix? She's one cool and collected customer. She has the brains to match. Yes, I know. In order to catch a person like her, you have to avoid head-on confrontations. You should disrupt her pacing. Disrupt her pacing? She's the type of woman who is easily thrown off by things inconsistent with her thinking. So you have to attack when she least expects it. The instant you let up on your offense is the instant this trial is over, understand? When I found the body. And what was Mr. On Guard doing at this time? He was taking a nap. God. Adorable. He was worn out from his many performances as the Nickel Samurai during the ceremony. Mr. On Guard did say he was taking a nap. And I guess you could say it could not have been taken out of his room, yes? Excuse me? It? What are you? Right, I thought years of school had taught you how to construct a sentence. If you can't make a sensible sentence with a subject, then I'll make one for you. Watch. Did you, Miss Andrews, remove Mr. Onguard's knife from his room? No. Subject, verb, object, right. Did you skip basic grammar? The witness may continue. Why you gotta be so mean, dude? And why did you do that? That's a friendly gesture. Plan was to make an appearance with the other heroes. The show was supposed to be a show of friendship, huh? Is that the only reason? I beg your pardon? What are you implying? You had a certain goal in mind when you started to get close to him, correct? So perhaps you had more personal matter to discuss with the victim. Sorry, but I didn't have any such intentions in mind at the time. Here to talk about a strong piece of evidence, I guess. As we continue now, witness, what did you see when you got into his room? You were in shock? What, was I not supposed to be? They're just a very calculating person. Despite how close they were, I thought she had romantic feelings for Mr. Corrigan. Anyone randomly stumbling upon a dead body would be in shock. You can't seriously expect that a young beauty like her would not be in shock. Wow, Edgeworth! Making moves! Somehow I don't think beauty has anything to do with being shocked or not. I see. What I saw was naturally the exact same scene as the photo. This is the photo you're referring to, correct? Yes, the one with the knife lodged in his chest. The guitar case was like that. Oh, and the guitar case was like this too? Yes, it was opened and empty, of course. And then what did you do next, witness? Juice? Yes, there was a bottle of tomato juice on the table, so I helped myself. But you didn't drink any of it, did you? Huh? There were no lip marks left on this wine glass, it's just that anyone drank from it. I wasn't feeling terribly great, so I set the glass down, without drinking it. Miss Andrews, I would like to confirm with you one more time. You discovered the dead body of Juan Corona. You were in great shock. And that's when you poured yourself a glass of juice, correct? And what of it? My mind really was completely blank at the time. Your mind was a complete blank? I didn't think that was possible for you. Aren't you rude today? I was so dazed that I made one careless mistake. That one thing. What one thing? Never mind, it's not a big deal. What was you starting to say just now? Miss Andrews, I'm convinced that, as you said, you made a mistake at the scene of the crime. What I really want to know is what this mistake was. Actually, so would I. I'm sorry, it's kind of embarrassing. When I placed the glass down on the dresser, I accidentally knocked the flower vase over. Flower vase? Are you talking about the one on the floor in the crime photo? Ugh. Oh man. With this mess of glass shards. It was originally on top of the dresser, but when I bumped into it with my elbow, it fell into the guitar case. Why did you withhold such an important piece of information? I'm sorry. I thought that since the crime scene was already in disarray, I would simply assume the vase was just another part of the mess. It looks like yet another fact has come to the light here. Please don't listen to anything else you have to return to your testimony. I'm sorry, but I have nothing more to add. I didn't touch anything else. I was from the flower vase? What kind of flower vase was that? It was a glass vase, and it was pretty big and heavy. I thought I would try to take Juan's pulse. It was the glass was laying down on the dresser, and that's when my elbow accidentally hit the vase. That's odd. I thought she was always in total control of herself. That's what she would like people to think. Always be mindful of the gap between your perception and reality. I don't think there's any glaring contradiction in her testimony just now. I'm sure that she would not crack so easily. The way to make her is to keep on the offensive and not let up. The way you're gonna catch her is with some very strong, decisive evidence. I have to find something, I just have to. For Maya's sake. Well, it's probably the new piece of evidence, right? Something about that. It fell onto the guitar case. Which had water on it, and only bears... Oh, whoops. Ah, ow. Yeah, right, so... Looks like the vase left water everywhere. The guitar case would have been closed, right? Nothing on the inside, like, it wasn't wet on the inside. And she said that... Yeah, that it was already open. You can swear that you knocked the flower face over, is this correct? Yes. And you are sure it fell into the guitar case. Is there some problem with what I said? It's not some problem. It's a major problem. It's true that the top of the guitar case was wet with water. However, that's exactly what is so strange, Miss Andrews. You justified that the vase fell into the guitar case. However, if that was true, this case should have gotten wet on the inside, not the outside. God, she's so cute. That's very true. Furthermore, there's one other strange thing about this guitar case. And what is that? See how I look at the crime scene photo. The remains of the vase were scattered all on the floor. And what's wrong with that? If the guitar case was open when the vase fell, the glass shards should be inside, not outside the case. Ah. What is your point, right? That the case was closed at the time. Oh my god. That the case was closed at the time the vase was knocked over. Is that all? No. Think back to what Miss Andrews testified to. She said that other than the vase, she didn't touch anything else. Yes, that's right. She did implicitly say she didn't touch the guitar case. But this whole matter with the guitar case is a dead end. Right when the guitar was found in the studio. It has no bearing on this case at all. That may very well be. However, I think the guitar case does seem to have no relation to this case, doesn't it? It seems that there's a deeper meaning to this guitar case. Mr. Wright, do you think we can hear more details about the guitar case? I mean, might as well, right? The empty guitar case. I believe this is a crucial piece of the puzzle. I can't believe anyone would reach for straws like this. But it is you. I don't believe I'm doing this either. Alright, I'll follow along. For now. Miss Andrews, please testify to the court about the guitar case. Yes, Your Honor. Oh boy. The guitar case. I don't remember too clearly because I was a bit dazed. I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked over the vase over. It's not a big deal though, right? The case was empty after all. As for why I opened the case, then I don't know. I think you do know. This really wasn't a very important point. This wastefulness is such a familiar feeling by now that it's almost comforting. Anyway, let's go ahead and start the cross-examination. Using any way to change the topic, a convenient escape for a weak man. That's not very nice, Edward. Why you gotta be so rude after you come back, man? During your testimony just now, did you remember those events clearly in your mind? Well, you see... Are you sure you're the one who opened the guitar case? She's waiting for someone to tell her if she should answer or not. Sounds like her dependent side is taking over. Well, Miss Andrews? Yes, it was me. I don't buy it for a second. Right, it only bears fingerprints of Matt. Yeah. Must have opened the guitar case. Yeah. You didn't open it, though. Or... perhaps you did. While wearing the costume! There's no way you were the one who opened the guitar case. Why would you say that? Elementary, my dear. Because the only fingerprints in the guitar case are those of the victim. Ah. Ah. What is it, Miss Andrews? You shouldn't assume that I must have left prints just because I touched the case. What do you mean? What if I say that I was wearing gloves at the time? Gloves? Would you be wearing gloves at the time? It was the night of the awards ceremony. So, of course, I dressed up for the occasion. Yes, that I remember. I'm almost sure I was wearing a pair of thin gloves. I see. Well, that's right. It seems the witness was wearing gloves at the scene of the crime. I mean... she's not wrong. She did wear gloves. I guess so. And I guess that makes sense. You're the epitome of a half-baked idea. The brain is to be used, not to look pretty for med students carving cadavers. So I'm going to bake my thoughts just a little longer. Now, if the defense has no further objections, let's return to the testimony. Okay. I guess there is something strange then? Or, well, I guess we could see what else she has to say about everything before we do that, but that's probably what we have to do. So you open the guitar case then? Yes. Well, maybe. Why did you open the guitar case? Huh? Mr. Corder's dead body was right there in front of you, wasn't it? I would think that the first thing you would do is call for help, not open the guitar case. As the witness has said multiple times, when she found the dead body, she was dazed. Maybe I was curious to know if the bright red guitar was alright or not. I thought maybe the criminal took it. Why would she care about the bright red guitar? But getting back on topic. Was it really empty? I was just wondering if maybe when you opened the case, the guitar was still inside. How long have you been a lawyer, Mr. Wright? A little professionalism. Bright red guitar was found at the studio. These trials would be over in half the time if you would just pay attention. Yes, pay more attention, Mr. Wright. Sorry. Was that because you were shocked and dazed at discovering the victim's body? Yes, that's probably it. I'm not going to get anywhere if I continue pressing her like this. I need to make her talk with evidence. I guess we should give it a try. Come on, Phoenix. Can't afford to let up on her now. I wasn't planning on letting up, but hit her weakest now. What's our chance? Alright. Yeah, let's get a weapon to hit her with. Her weapon is hiding somewhere in the court record waiting to be found. So, I was thinking, while doing all of this, I couldn't remember, but we investigated the same day, technically. We talked to people. We talked to her on the same day of the murder. And she wasn't dressed up. She was wearing her normal outfit. Her normal, might as well be a mock Zero Suit Samus outfit. That's strange. You're wearing gloves. It's a little strange. Why is that strange? You have something that would prove I was not wearing gloves at the time? Oh. Oh. Hmm. Oh, the glass. Because she left fingerprints on the glass. So why would she leave fingerprints on the glass, but not on the guitar? I have your proof right here. This wine glass. The wine glass? You left your fingerprints very clearly on the wine glass. Ah. Even if you took your gloves off and you poured yourself this glass of juice, wouldn't you think it was just a little strange that you put your gloves back on just to open the guitar case? Oh. Her glasses break in half and she just puts on a brand new pair. Dang. You know a character has a great design when they look just as good with glasses as without? Order, order, order! Look at the nail on the head this time. What do you mean? I believe that guitar case plays a very important role here. It's just an empty case. I wonder if it really was empty, though. But the guitar, the bright red guitar, was at the studio. Phoenix, triple of your presumptions. What was in the guitar case was not the bright red guitar. You don't mean. It was a bright white guitar? Wait, that's not right either. I admit it would be unnatural for someone to do that. So the witness was not wearing gloves, despite the fact on the case. Or despite the fact that on the case. Your Honor, this is obvious the defense's usual misdirection tactic at work. Here the court reports an unrelated topic and lull us all into as misguided. No, Your Honor. Please, recall that Miss Andrews has testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case, which means that the case was closed when the crime took place. However, it's wide open in this photo of the crime scene. I am sure this guitar has some relation to the murder. If you are so sure, right, I'm sure you can somehow substantiate your religious claim, correct? Please, enlighten us as to why the guitar case has anything to do with this murder. Can you do that, Mr. Wright? Well, suppose for a second, the bright red guitar was not the only thing that could have been in the case. A bright red guitar not being the only thing. You don't mean to suggest that a bright black guitar was inside the... So you intend to push your theory that the case was not empty. Is that it, right? I wouldn't say something I didn't intend to prove. Like that head of yours, you haven't proven anything yet. Now then, let's have it. What was inside the case at the time of the murder? Ooh. I don't know. Where's the crime photo? Like, something was clearly in there, but... What flawed this photo again? I mean... Right? I don't fully know, but it'd have to be related to this. Because this was taken as they were leaving, and it's clearly her in the costume. This is a photograph, and every time I look at it, it makes me laugh. Yes, but what is important is what is in that picture, Your Honor. In the picture? Looks like a genius to see what I mean. What I am proposing is... Inside the guitar case was the Nickel Samurai, the hero's very own costume. What? Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Wait, are you saying that the witness opened the guitar case to take out her costume? What insane point would there be in doing something like that? That insane point would be to wear the costume, of course. And Miss Andrews put it on to hide her identity so she can make her escape. After all, you couldn't let anyone see you leave, could you, Miss Andrews? I refuse to accept your theory. Do you have anything to support such a preposterous idea? So the door was an investigative photographer who was starving for a big scoop. And in the end, she managed to get this shot, correct? You mean this photo? Order! Order! It looks like we've wandered into quite another mess again, haven't we? Nice job, Phoenix. Well, you know my strategy. Speak first, think later. So the real murderer was hiding inside a costume. Wait a second, Your Honor. The Nickel Samurai's costume would have been Mr. Matt on guards. Why would something of the defendants be in the victim's room? Inside the guitar case of all places. True, that is a little baffling. Mr. Wright, the court would like to hear your thoughts. What was this Nickel Samurai costume doing inside the guitar case? It was stolen? I don't think it was. It must have been a spare. I think it may have been stolen from Mr. On Guard. Stolen? Why would someone do such a thing? Maybe the thief wanted to interfere with the post-ceremony stage show. And so, if he didn't have his costume, Mr. On Guard would be forced to go naked. Maybe you should be stripped naked and run out for making a mockery of this court. Excuse me? Mr. Matt On Guard did not take his costume off after the award ceremony. He even testified that he took a nap while still wearing his costume. This is not correct. Yeah, he did say something like that, didn't he? That's what I thought. Alright, well, that was still funny, though. Let's try that one more time, shall we, Mr. Wright? Mr. Wright, the court would like to hear your thoughts. It was a spare. There's nothing a spare. I do that, yeah. No, of course. Mr. On Guard did not take off his costume during the break period. In that case, the costume we were talking about was a spare one. What? Then, are you saying that on the night of the murder, there were 2 Nickel Samurai costumes at the Gatewater Hotel? That would explain why he has so many clothes. Yes, that is what I'm saying. And how do you explain the costume that was inside the guitar case? It would mean that the victim himself had brought the spare to the ceremony on purpose. True. That is what that would imply. But why? The victim, Mr. Corda, was the Jammin' Ninja. Why would he secretly bring the Nickel Samurai's spare costume with him? What would be the reason behind such a peculiar act? And therein lies the sticking point. What are you mumbling to yourself about now? You've just been rambling all this time without any sense of inner monologue. Huh? No, I just... Mr. Wright, please explain yourself. Why do you think the victim had the Nickel Samurai spare costume? Phoenix, are you sure you can explain this one? Think carefully before you answer. Then answer with gusto, I believe in you. Alright, this is what I think. The reason the victim brought the Nickel Samurai spare costume to the hotel was... Oh, you know what? It might have been for the press conference itself. Because... our boy On Guard didn't know about it. So perhaps he had the spare costume so he could double layer costume. And the thing he could confess was, I'm actually the music ninja, or the Jammin' Ninja, bro. What up, dude? And everyone would be like, wow! There would be an absolutely massive publicity stunt that would absolutely skyrocket both of their careers, in all honesty. What is this? On the night of the murder, after the stage show, the Nickel Samurai was going to hold a special press conference. Press conference? Yes, the Nickel Samurai was supposed to confess something at this conference. I've heard about this as well. For once you're not making something up right. But what struck me as strange was that Mr. Ungard himself said he had no idea he was supposed to be holding a press conference that night. But how can that be? I see it. That can only mean one thing. The conference was set up by none other than the victim, Mr. Juan Carida himself. The victim? Yes. The Spirit Nickel Samurai costume was prepared for the very conference. Mr. Corda was going to hold the press conference as the Nickel Samurai. He was going to dress up as the Nickel Samurai and hold the conference. But why would the victim do such a thing? That's something I don't quite know yet. However, what I am concerned with right now is what he intended to reveal at that con. The Nickel Samurai was going to confess something. And by confess, I'd wager he was going to do something about himself. Which means that Juan Carida, posing as the Nickel Samurai, is going to speak about Matt on guard. Yes, I guess that is what it would mean. But if that's the case, it's not a confession, that's public disclosure. Huh. Miss Andrews? I can see by your prose of what you do. Pardon me? Yes, just as you say, the press conference was a setup by Juan. What? Oh, Miss Andrews, please offer us an explanation for this. I was the one he asked to help set it up. And the person who prepared the second costume for him. That was also me. You? Juan had bet everything on the gym and Ninja this year. And if he lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought anyway. He was going to ruin him, huh? It looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. What? I have no idea what you're talking about. And do you know what the secret was? Oh my god. You know the secret? Oh my god. And do you know what the secret of Mr. Ungard's is, Miss Andrews? That's something only Juan knew. I don't know what it is. Ah, I see. I've probably been coming off quite suspicious to everyone. But that's to be expected. I've been trying to protect Matt after all. But protect Mr. Ungard? And yet again, another strange bit of truth comes to light, it seems. Miss Andrews, if you could, please tell us the truth about your behavior. Yes, Your Honor, I understand. Protecting Matt. At the moment I saw the crime scene, I had the feeling that Matt was the murderer. Matt had to kill Juan no matter what. And he didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. My thoughts were confirming by the evidence, of course. The button and the knife. But I'm Matt's manager, so I felt I had to protect him. Or rather, you had to cover your tracks. This does account for everything. No, I am the logical type. Finally seeing your true self. She's very nervous and a scared rabbit. If the defense can find no fault with the testimony, I'm ready to make a ruling. Please keep that in mind as you cross-examine Mr. Wright. Look, somehow everything has swung to the opposite end of the scale again. Which means I have to put my weight into it, or into this, and turn her logic upside down. You sure that was your intuition speaking? Don't confuse my methods of reasoning with your own. Ugh. You want to prove that someone did something, you need 3 things. 3 things? A motive, an opportunity to commit the crime, and finally, decisive evidence. If you think these 3 things through, the answer becomes quite clear. You've already known that, Phoenix. They didn't teach us that in school, at least not from what I remember. Yeah, continue now. You have a kill Juan? Why? So, would you say that this need came from the press conference? Yes. No, Juan chose that event in that hotel for the conference because that was when he could cause the most damage to the public's beloved Matt on guard. And you knew of this plan, didn't you, Miss Andrews? Yes. Because I was only sent at the conference and prepared the costume. But I'm sure Mr. Ungard himself didn't know anything about the press conference. Oh, really? Can you show me any proof that he didn't know about the press conference? Anyway, the important thing here is that the information was not in your testimony. Yes, I agree, Miss Andrews. Please correct the testimony, please. Pressing at straws now, are you, Mr. Wright? I know what his motive was, but I don't have any way to prove I'm right. Has Mr. Ungard done something to hurt or betray you personally? Why do you ask? You were the one who helped Mr. Corda with his press conference. And that event was supposed to bring down Mr. Ungard, and you still helped out. The person in trouble right now is Mr. Ungard, right? But the witness was thinking helping the victim with this plan. It's none of our concern. In any case, this means that the defendant has a motive to kill. Why do I keep doing this to myself? But didn't you already testify earlier that Mr. Ungard was taking a nap in his room? You're telling me now that that too was a lie so you could cover for Mr. Ungard? I'm not telling you anything of the sort. When I went to get him for the show, he honestly was sleeping. However, as to whether he was sleeping the entire time, that I cannot say. I was too busy setting up the stage at the time. I keep trying, but I can find no flaws with what Miss Andrews has said. I can't say the same for some people here in this courtroom, however. Just glaring straight at me. Glaring at you, smart guy. I don't know, I think he's trying to get a look at those big old 8-year-old titties. Why does she get them? I don't understand. You can hardly call the knife decisive evidence. Fingerprints on the knife could very well be clever camouflage. Then, what about the button? The button? Here from the crime scene that the victim and the murderer had bought. The murderer had bought. And during the fight, the killer ripped the button from the Jammin' Ninja's costume. You're talking about this button, correct? That button was found in the pleats of Matt's Hakama. Isn't that correct? I think that makes it very decisive evidence. Yeah. Well, looks like you were outfoxed again, Mr. Wright. Anyway, the knife doesn't prove a thing. It makes your testimony. I can't stand the sight of a man who can't gracefully accept his defeat. Thank goodness me, I can still be hearing. An icy stare, yes. Rude. Miss Andrews, for Mr. Wright's sake, please add this information to your testimony. That button was torn off at once during the fight with Matt. And how do you know that? And the ends of threads on the button and the costume are matched up. They're found to fit together perfectly, or so I heard. I've said before, too. What does Andrews know about this? You said it's such a fine detail. Oh, you're like that just because I'm prepared and you are not? Ugh. Ugh. But I had her this time for sure. Something to trip her up on. It has to be here. But where and what? But what you really did was stab the guy in the back, didn't you? Yeah, the worst possible time. Who's to say she really stabbed the guy in the back, as you put it? This witness could have disclosed things about Mr. Ungard at any time. Why, then, would she wait until there was a large audience before doing so? The same reason why Mr. Corda planned such an elaborate conference. Miss Andrews wanted to cause Mr. Ungard as much damage as she possibly could. This witness bears ill will toward the defendant. This isn't the Phoenix Wright Wax philosophical power hour. Jeez. And please stop slandering the witness. As I expected, this Andrews' testimony seems pretty solid. Really? This thing sounded a little wishy-washy. Wishy-washy? I guess we'll see if I press a little more. You should know this by now. We need strong decisive evidence to make it talk. Got it, Chief. What you done this time, Miss Andrews? And the button was torn off with Blonde during this fight with Matt? I mean, was it really a fight with Matt, though? These will come up soon, I'm sure. I mean, was there really a fight though? I mean, I guess there was a struggle, but... What are your other statements? That button was torn off of Juan during his fight with Matt. But if he was being strangled, then why would it be torn off from the front? Right? Wouldn't it have been torn off afterwards? Or, I guess at the very least beforehand. Right? Because he would have been held from behind and strangled. So there would be no need to grab the button. Yeah! This is the victim's autopsy report. It clearly states that the cause of death was strangulation by a scarf. Is it strangulation? The knife stab to the victim was done after the victim had already died. And what does this mean? Let's examine the evidence. The button has the victim's blood on it, which would mean that it was ripped off the costume when? After the knife was stabbed into the victim. Exactly. Which means... it's impossible that this button was torn off during the victim's final struggle, because the victim was strangled to death in that fight. That's right, Miss Andrews. There's no way this button was ripped off during the struggle. This button was was consciously pulled off the victim's already dead body. I can read. English is my first language. Order, order! What's the meaning? What is the meaning of this right? So what if the button was torn off the body after the victim had already died? What does that change? Let me ask you one simple question, Mr. Edgeworth. Why was the button torn off? What purpose did that serve? What purpose? We now know this button was not torn off during the fight. So, the murderer took the time and effort to purposely rip this from the victim's body. That would mean that the murderer had something in mind, wouldn't it? Mr. Wright, does this mean you know what the murderer wanted to do with the button? What was it? In the crime. There's only one logical reason for doing something like that. It was to pin the crime on Mr. On Guard. There's no way anyone would put a bloody button in their own pants. That's right. Mr. On Guard was set up. By the real killer, of course. Ooh. And the rumor is... that's right, who the one was the real killer then? Finally. I believe I managed to bring this trial all the way up to this point. Phoenix, don't you guard down yet. On to the very end. The real killer, the person who planned to frame Mr. On Guard, is none other than Francisca Von Karma. No. She killed a man. She planted the evidence. She made it a perfect crime so she could beat me in court, and I have unraveled her plan. She's not even here. She knew I knew. Miss Adrian Andrews, I choose you. You are Mr. Corridor's killer. Really, a Pokemon reference? What? Oh, her glasses broke. I get it. Order, order, order. Mr. Wright. Very great matter. Do you have any evidence to support your charge? Any evidence? All of the evidence points to Miss Andrews. But how preposterous. You can't stick any of that on me. I can't, can I? Do you care to test me? Then what about this knife? The knife was used to stab the victim after he'd already been strangled to death. It was used to put suspicion on the Mr. On Guard, naturally. The knife covered in the defendant's fingerprints could only be taken from his room. And the only one who had dinner with him and knew which knife to take was you! Hisk. Then, what about the button that was found in Matt Sakamo? This button was removed from the victim's body after he had already died. The people who could have done this were the person who found the body or the killer. However, if Mr. On Guard was the real killer, there's no way he would have put such incriminating evidence in his Otokama. And how many pairs of glasses are we to go through today, lady? The only person who could have put this button in Mr. On Guard's Otokama It's the person who went to wake him from his nap, which is you, yet again, Miss Andrews. I see. What about the empty guitar case? That is also another piece of evidence that incriminates Miss Andrews. Dang. Look at that shot. That costume was used to hide the real killer's identity as they fled the crime scene. Now, could have known that there was just such a costume inside the guitar case. It could have only been the person who prepared the costume for the victim. And that person is you, Miss Andrews! No, But Miss Andrews' fingerprints were nowhere to be found on the guitar case. It was you who proved that she was not wearing gloves at the time. That's right. That's because she did not intend on leaving any prints. They would have found out that she had touched the case. They would have asked her why. To avoid leaving any prints, she used a towel or something else to open it. But because that's how managers is a different story. Miss Andrews purposely left her fingerprints in the glass to show that, yes, indeed, she was the classic dazed discoverer of a dead body. And to top it all off, there is this photo. Photo of the killer as they exited the scene of the crime. No reasonable person on Earth can believe that this nickel samurai is Mr. Engard. It'd be much too short for his own costume if it was him. Speaking of how tall people are, Miss Andrews, also kind of short in stature, are you not? Please, stop. Well, how about it, Miss Andrews? Got her this time. Miss Andrews? I refuse to testify. What was that? There's a law. It says I can't be forced to testify about something if it can incriminate me. Well, yes. You are absolutely correct, Miss Andrews. The law does provide us with a way to avoid self-incrimination by allowing a witness to not testify if the testimony can cause damage to themselves. What? Pleading the fifth is not something most people would think to do on the spot. Actually, thinking back to yesterday, Mr. Engard's room. Adrian Andrews. Yes? Think hard about what we just discussed. Understood? Alright. That's it. That's when Francisca planted this idea into her head. She must have told Miss Andrews to not testify if things looked bad. Did a good job proving everything up to this point, Phoenix. But still one thing you haven't done. Something I haven't done? What's wrong, right? Well, you finished already? Run out of evidence. What is so humorous, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm sure you realize this as well, Your Honor. But everything the good lawyer here has proven up to this point is meaningless. What? Everything you have proven is circumstantial. Circumstantial? Yes, circumstantial. You have yet to provide a single piece of definitive proof. Proof that Miss Andrews did in fact harbor a wish to murder Mr. Coroner. Oh, ho, ho, ho. I got your proof right here, Edgy. Miss Andrews, did you want to kill Mr. Coroner? I believe this may lead to me incriminating myself, so I will abstain from answering. But, Miss Andrews, if you do that, it would be the same as admitting your guilt, don't you think? Maybe so, or maybe not. There's nothing to prove nothing to prove it either way. Besides, you don't even know what crime I would be guilty of due to my silence. No. Just taking that defiant attitude again. Mia, what should we do? Somehow, we've put it in the worst possible situation. I think we have reached a certain conclusion at this point in time. Miss Adrian Andrews has refused to testify, and the defense's theory that she is the actual murderer has not been fully substantiated with solid definitive proof. But that's not true. In this situation, there is only one thing this court can do. And that is to declare a recess. Recess? I request that both the prosecution and the defense look further into this matter. And at tomorrow's trial. Tomorrow? We don't have a tomorrow. We don't get a not guilty verdict today, then. Please, wait, Your Honor. That's not necessary. The trial... Please continue the trial. What are you sweating it for? quiet is getting one more day to live, isn't he? That's not it. This isn't about that. Edgeworth, I know you know who the real killer is. Please, let the trial continue. If I don't get the verdict, then But it's impossible to continue as long as the witness refuses to testify. Now then, the court is... Oh. I know that objection sound. It is not impossible for this trial to continue. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you... It's true Miss Andrew holds the right against self-incrimination. However, if the topic of conversation were something unrelated to whatever she may be guilty of, then she has no right to withhold testimony. Yes, that is very true, but actually, there's one little thing that I'm curious about. Miss Andrews. When you found the victim's dead body, you poured yourself a glass of juice. Yes, and I can't help but think how unnatural that is. Usually when one finds a body, they are shaken up, not stirring a glass of juice. So my actions were unusual, but I've already... Before you speak, I want you to state that if you have I want you to state that if you have a reason behind your actions, I want you to testify to that effect. Testify? Your Honor, I would like to request that the witness testify again, as to what happened when she first discovered the victim's body. Whatever you find out in this testimony should in no way implicate the witness. I don't know what it is about Edgeworth today. I can't get a good read of him. Is he friend or foe? I just don't know. I don't either. The court acknowledges the prosecution's request. Miss Andrews, if you please. Huh. Interesting choice. That glass of juice? I didn't really pour it for myself. I was surprised when I walked into the room and saw it in the messy state. And Ron, he was something very tired looking in the corner. I saw him sitting like that. The thought that he was dead didn't cross my mind. To be honest, I thought he just fainted or something. So I went to pour him some juice. I realized that he was dead. That's when I knocked the flower vase over. So you poured that glass of juice for the victim. Why didn't you say so in your other testimony? I didn't think I needed to include something so trivial. Phoenix, let's be careful here. If you can't find anything wrong with this testimony, then there's nothing left. I know. Edgeworth. What the heck is going on in that brain of yours? Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Oh, God. Alright. Oh, boy. Alright. But there wasn't anyone else in the room, right? Of course not. Then, who did you pour it for? Mr. Wright, there's a rhyme and reason for everything. Can you wait just a little longer for it to be revealed to you? In other words, Wright, be quiet and listen. Precisely. I couldn't have said it better myself. So, it was a mess. Are you sure it wasn't messy because of your fight with Mr. Cordo? I understand your frustrations of not being able to prove your theory, however. Before you go accusing people of crimes, go find yourself some evidence. I'm thin. What did you see next, witness? Oh boy. Slumped over? Yes, he was just sitting there with his head tilted forward, eyes closed. Like he was sleeping. It's just me, or did that right there sound a little odd? Then what did cross your mind? I thought maybe he had smashed everything up in anger because he lost the Grand Prix, and then felt tired after his rampage, so he decided to take a nap. Anyways, that's what I thought. Oh, I see, so you didn't think he was dead at all. You thought he fainted. I thought he was asleep at first, but then the room was in such a messy state. I thought maybe he'd gotten into a fight with someone. And that's when you went to pour the glass of juice. Yes, he always has a hard time waking up, so Ron always has a glass of tomato juice to drink. I see. And after that, what happened next? And how did you come to realize that he was in fact dead? I shook him over and over, but I never got a response. So I set the glass down in the dresser and tried to take his pulse. I was shocked and staggered backward. And knocked the flower vase over, so that's what happened. Yes. What it all comes down to. Huh? This is the absolute end for both sides, and Adrian is letting her guard down. Phoenix, now is our best chance yet to kill the prosecution's case. A little bit harsh. Miss Andrews, can you tell us the truth this time? Where is it? Not that he was dead didn't cross my mind. How could it not? He had a stab wound. So, you honestly didn't think he was dead when you found him? No, not at all. Even though this is what you saw when you discovered the body? Yeah, there's a giant knife in his chest. Ah.
What is the meaning of this?
Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? There's a knife sticking straight out of Mr. Corda's chest.
Anyone who saw this scene would have immediately thought that there was a dead man.
Well, you see...
I doubt a single person in the world would mistake this for someone who fainted.
And then so nonchalantly go pour something a drink? Or something to drink?
Your point is, Miss Andrews, your testimony just now, it was all one giant lie.
Again.
And your lie has proven one thing very clearly, that you are the real killer.
No.
It looks like the defense has somehow brought the ugly truth to light. The defendant, Mr. Madame, is not guilty after all.
But that's impossible. You're wrong.
Miss Andrews, try to have some composure.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me, I tell you. It was Matt, I swear it. He's the one who killed Juan.
But you were the one who refused to testify. And your reason for not doing so was that you might end up incriminating yourself.
That's because...
Miss Andrews, I will give you one last chance.
Oh, jeez.
I think I got another one coming.
Oh, yeah. It's always...
Oh, man. What if I was sneezing, you know? Like, it's never just one sneeze. It's always like 2, maybe 3. God. Well, what exactly are you hiding that may incriminate you?
I refuse to testify.
And there's no need for this court to continue any further. No! Mr. Madamgar's innocence has been clearly demonstrated.
Is it over? Have we found the truth at last? What's wrong, Phoenix?
Usually
the real killer confesses her guilt. Now that I think about it, this is the first time someone has it.
Now then, I would like to hand down my verdict for Mr. Madamgar.
Oh, Edgeworth, Your Honor. Prosecution feels that it would be premature to pass down a verdict at this time.
What?
The reason is quite simple. The witness has yet to speak the absolute real truth.
The absolute real truth? What are you?
Witness. Don't you understand yet? Huh? I don't know who planted this silly idea in your head, but as long as you protect yourself through your silence, Madame Guard will go free, and in his place, you will become the guilty party. That's a lie. I don't believe you. What? I was told if I spoke, then it would be all over, and Matt would never be declared guilty. What in the world is she talking about? She lost it? I can't speak about it, but here. It's Francisca Pantarma. Huh? Don't you remember, Phoenix? Miss Andrews lives by gripping tightly onto the words of others. But because she doesn't have the strength to believe in herself. Then, right now, Miss Andrews is... Yesterday, she was tossed a lifesaver by Miss Von Karma. Don't say a word no matter what happens. If you do, Madame Guard will be acquitted. Miss Andrews undyingly believes in those words right now. Is clinging on to them. Then, what should we do? This is the first time I've ever come across anything like this. But Miss Andrews has to be the killer, right? All we have to do now is get her not guilty. That is my only priority. It wasn't me. I'm begging you. Please, believe me. I didn't kill Juan. Help. Please, someone help me. Oh. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? The court can't continue on like this. Therefore, I'd like to hear what you intend to do. What I intend to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say? Right, I suggest you think very carefully about this. Think about what this witness did and what she did not do. And think about who is the real mastermind behind this crime. The real mastermind? Isn't that obvious? There's no one else it could be except the woman crying over that, right? Come now, what will you do? What kind of man are you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Ooh. It's gonna, honestly, I kind of want her to testify. I want to know what happened. I have to win a complete acquittal today. There's no way around that. But I can't bring myself to do it like this. Not when she's making a face like that. Miss Andrews, I would like to know what you are really hiding. Mr. Wright, are you sure? You know what you're doing? Sure, if Mr. Ongar would get an acquittal, but in his place, you would be found guilty. Is this how you really want this trial then? Be quiet. How dare you? You're trying to trick me. Now that's enough. I commend you for trying, Mr. Edgeworth. However, it's clear that the defense's theory is the truth. You're wrong. What a shame. I'd hoped things wouldn't come to this, however. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Miss Andrews, since you actually refuse to testify, it falls on my shoulders to disclose this to the court. Stop. Mr. Edgeworth! This witness, how should I put this? She has an illness. What? And because of this illness, she has tried to commit suicide in the past. Stop. Please stop. No matter how much you want to hide it, it's no use. Have the evidence right here. That's the second part of the suicide report. The attempted suicide report. What will you do now, witness? You know what I am about to do, don't you? I will now reveal to the court the true nature of the pitiful woman known as Andrian Andrews. The secret of her dependent nature. Letting other people know about it scares her more than anything else in the world. Please stop, I beg you. If people find out, we'll find out, I'll... if you're going to say you would choose death, that is of no concern to me. Edgeworth, how can you be so cold? However, before you die, I will pull the truth from your still breathing lips, no matter what I have to do. So be to the court yourself, or shall I? Either is fine with me. Right. I'll talk, but please help me. I feel bad for her. Even if she is just a terrible person that literally murdered Juan for whatever her reasons are, her revenge plot or whatever. Man, I feel bad for her though. Nothing matters anymore. My crime? When I first saw him, I thought he had fainted, honest. I realized he was dead. That was when I formulated my plan. Once I made sure there was no one in the hallway, I made a dash back to Matt's room. Then, I stabbed Juan's dead body with a knife and ripped off the button. Just when I finished and was returning to Matt's room, I had a bit of an inconvenience. That's why I ended up using the Nickel Samurai costume. An inconvenience. What? You stabbed the body with a knife. But why would you do that? Isn't it obvious? Pin the blame on a certain person. A certain cowardly man. What do you mean by all of this? It might take this court a little while to understand, but... this is the truth. The real killer is Matt. That scumbag of a man will never forgive him. He's trying to escape his guilt again, just like last time. Last time? So, Miss Andrews stabbed the victim on Corrida in the chest with the knife. However, she didn't do it with murder in mind. She did it with the intent of framing Madame Guard for the murder. And this is her crime. So she stabbed the dead body. What? How is this possible? I mean, wasn't Miss Andrews supposed to be the real murderer? Mr. Wright, please get over your shock and commence the cross-examination. Oh boy. I won't lie. I don't know if I processed any of that. When I first saw him, I thought he had fainted. When I realized he was dead, that was when I formulated my plan. Once I made sure there was no one in the hallway, I made a dash to Matt's room, and then I stabbed Juan's body with a knife and went off the button. In Matt's room, I had a bit of an inconvenience, whatever that is. I mean, it could be other things, but it was like, I don't know. But you could tell from the state of the room was in, it must have been a fight. Are you telling the truth when you say you did not know he was dead? He had a scarf tied around his neck. That scarf was a part of the Jammin' Ninja's costume, so I didn't think anything about it was strange. His head was also tilted down a bit, so I couldn't see his face that well. That's why I thought I'd mic him up and went to pour the juice. What is this plan you had? I knew right away the murder, or it was Matt. I did because Juan was going to expose Matt's weakness, or weakest weak point to the world. So Matt did this to stop Juan and silence him for good. That's when I thought I should forge some evidence and pin this crime on Matt. Sort of forged pieces of evidence with a knife in the button. The first thing that came to mind was to plant the knife. That was so you could get the knife, correct? That knife Matt used at dinner had his fingerprints all over it. I thought if I used that, then police would certainly turn their eyes towards him. Matt was napping with his costume on at the time. Honestly, that looks very uncomfortable. I didn't notice that he was sleeping, like, on the gears. That looks like it's not a good time. I slipped in, took the knife, and returned to the scene of the crime. And then I stabbed Juan's dead body with the knife and ripped off the button. Just when I finished... that's right, okay. So you wanted to stab the victim with a knife. It gives me goosebumps to think about it now. What a horrible thing I did. But at the time, I couldn't control my own body. I moved on its own. Then, when I stabbed Juan's dead body, I suddenly realized something. If I used the button somehow, I could make Matt look even more suspect. So then you thought to rip one of the buttons off, then plant it on Mr. Engarde's Hakama. Yes, that's what I had planned to do. But things never go that smoothly, do they? An inconvenience? There was a boom at the camera at the ready, loitering in the hallway. I'm willing to bet my spikes it was Lana. There was also a woman with a ray gun at the ready, pacing back and forth. That's Miss Oldbag for you. I had already been caught and made into a big scoop for a certain wiki tabloid once, so I couldn't very well go out looking like myself and getting caught again. I see. You were the one who prepared that costume, weren't you? Yes, I took it from Global Studios. I also put it into Juan's guitar case the day before the awards ceremony. You did this in preparation for the press conference, correct? Yes, Juan wanted to wear that costume and hold a press conference in it. He was going to disclose Matt's big secret there. And what is the secret? That, I don't know. Anyway, I thought that if I were to leave Juan's room in the Nickel Samurai costume, we'll think that it was Matt, or that Matt was the real murderer. I was very careful not to leave any fingerprints when I opened the guitar case. I did not want anyone to know about the costume. I think we've heard enough. So after that, you went back to Mr. Ongar's room, you planted the button into Matsukama, yes. After that, I pulled up the costume I was wearing and put it into a bag. I snuck it out of the hotel and got rid of it. My word! What does all this mean? Mr. Edgeworth, is it? The real criminal is Matt on guard. Yesterday, that woman prosecutor sat me down for a talk. Francisca, huh? She's so cute. Oh, I wish she were here right now. I wish she would just whip me in the face right now. I mean, what? I thought I should, under no circumstances, confess to what I had done. That if I just keep quiet, then Matt would be found guilty for sure. I had no choice but to believe in her words. What this witness has done is clearly unlawful. However, as her testimony stands, I can be certain she is not the real killer. Wait, Your Honor. The defense still... Right. It's pointless. At this point in time, it is not possible to indict Miss Andrews on anything. Yes, exactly. There isn't a single piece of evidence that points to her as the murderer. The cross-examination of this witness is over, and so is today's trial. You couldn't establish that the witness was the culprit. Please let it go, Mr. Wright. But... Mr. Edgeworth, please place Miss Andrews under arrest for further questioning. Understood, Your Honor. The prosecution will arrange for her detention immediately. That is all. Court is adjourned for today. No. But... No! This trial, it's over? I didn't win an acquittal. Witness, would you mind if I asked you something? Edgeworth? What is it? Before you leave court today, I wondered if I might look at one thing. The card in your hand. I've had my interest for quite some time now. What exactly is it? Oh, this? Mr. Wright also asked about this. Although I didn't remember at the time you asked me about it, Mr. Wright. I remember just now, I found this in the room on that day. The room? That day? Yeah. I found this card when I discovered Vaughn's body. It was lying there right next to him. You found that card next to the victim's body? I suppose I must have unconsciously slipped it into my pocket. But it's not as if this card has any relevance to Juan's murder, right? Yeah, I guess not. But it's still a strange card, if you ask me. But as far as a clue to this case, I don't see why... Witness that card! Give it to me, hurry! Edgeworth? Do you have any idea what you have stupidly and inadvertently done? This... I can't believe you hid this from me all this time. I didn't mean to. But what is this all about? I've never seen Edgeworth so emotional before. That card. What in the world is it? And what does it mean? Ah, oh, dang. Ooh. Unfortunately, I think that's gonna be it. I don't think we're gonna do any investigation today. I think we'll save that for Tuesday. A little bit shorter on time today for the stream, but honestly, that was a lot to take in, so I think that's okay. What a crazy turn of events. I have an idea. I was thinking about it pretty much as soon as it kind of became clear in her final testimony that she didn't kill him. That perhaps that card that she has, which is of course planted. Um, that we know that now that it's planted. I kind of figured it was planted on her. Is like a calling card of some kind, like a serial killer calling card. Um, and we already know from our little interactions as Maya for a little bit that that card came up around Mr. D Killer. So perhaps he is the one who killed the man, Mr. Juan Corda. And then she ended up framing Matt for whatever reason. I Or perhaps he's orchestrating the whole thing. Maybe he gave her one of those walkie-talkie things that's like, you have to do this. Do it. And then make it look like Matt did it. And then when they tell you to testify in court, be like, yo, it was Matt, I swear. Don't tell them about me. Kind of like what we have happened. So, I mean, honestly, she would much quicker understand to not talk to the police. We, however, immediately went to the police. He was like, don't talk to the police or else. And we're like, Gumshoe, what up, my man? You want to help us with this? Which, I guess, in fairness, Gumshoe technically is not part of the police anymore. I say, knowing full well that he will somehow retain his job. Because, of course, he does. He's always the detective. Every time. He's always there. It's not Ace Attorney without Gumshoe. That's a real fact right there. If there's no Gumshoe, it's not Ace Attorney. You gotta have Gumshoe. But, anyways, and I think that's gonna be it for this one for today. There's a lot going on, so hopefully it's not too difficult, you know? Hopefully we can get rocking on this this final investigation day. I don't know how long it's gonna take. We might actually be able to finish it on Tuesday. I don't know though. That might be another situation where we're like right at that border on time. I don't know what to do. Kind of like today. I was like, well, like kind of right at the border, and I know it's gonna be like 30-45 minutes of running around, so maybe even an hour. So rather than doing that, I've chosen to end here. But that's totally fine. So for those that don't know, there's VODs. They exist. There's links. There's a command. Find them all over the place. Exclamation point VODs. Just do it. It'll take you right to it. There's a lot of cool stuff on there. Bloodborne. The Ice Attorney 1. Everything before this and Ice Attorney 2. All kinds of other things that exist that are cool and fun. Thank you to everyone who watches them, as well as those that show up to the streams. Fun time, I appreciate it. At least I hope it's a fun time. It would suck if it wasn't a fun time. So I hope it's a fun time. I know I have a fun time with it. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying this game. Like I said, we might take a very minor, maybe just like a 1-day break. Because if we finish on Tuesday or Wednesday, I'll probably just take like the rest of the week to play some Strive. I like Strive, you know, and I haven't played it very much. I really haven't. I've been very, very slacking on my Strive gameplay. So it'll be fun to get back into it a little bit. Work on my Kai Kisuke, work on some of my other stuff. Don't mind me just resaving the game. I go to turn my my Switch off. That's all those noises and those little clicks and whatnot. It's just Switch sounds. So yeah. We'll get out of here. We will not be doing anything tomorrow because today is Thursday. It's the last day of the week for streams, aside from the weekend stuff. If I do any. I keep saying that I'm going to, and then I never do. So hopefully I actually take some time and do it. I don't know. It depends on what's going on. I never know what's happening on weekends. So I might not. we'll see. So until next time, we will continue this case with some investigating and get to the bottom of this.